Good evening. Welcome to Call-In Live Free-for-All over-the-air TV, hashtag free satellite TV. And I'm just playing around with my HD home run, seeing if I can... Actually, I need to move my antenna. This Fox 28, it's not coming in real good right now. It's raining out right now, so we got like overcast. It's not as pretty as the sky looks in my desktop's background. So we're on Facebook, we are on YouTube, we are on we're trying to get on Twitch and DLive and Daily Motion. Anyone ever still watch Daily Motion? I was like, I used to be on Daily Motion quite a bit. I mean, Daily Motion used to have lots of videos. It was not, maybe not YouTube, but it would be definitely a go-to place for some videos. I think one place Daily Motion had was maybe not the most copyright friendly stuff would be on Daily Motion. I think what I'm thinking of like is Botchamania is be something. It's on YouTube, but then you'd see it on full screen on Daily Motion. Now, if you're not familiar with what Botchamania is, it's this wrestling blooper show. I guess that would be the best way of describing it. And they take a bunch of clips from the top wrestling promotions. They'll even show a little bit of highlights from the botches in the world of independent wrestling. Some back in the old days, they used to call it the outlaw wrestling promotions. The outlaw promotions were just basically what they would call a wrestling promotion. It was not really an outlaw. It just was outside of the NWA, but yeah, it wasn't really. They just used the term outlaw. It's like, but it wasn't really that. So yeah, you can call in tonight. I'll put out the link for anyone who would like to join. Tonight, I think I was just throwing up, hey, let's have a little Saturday night chat about TV, media, and stuff that you find interesting. Well, we could have a discussion about that. Probably a little bit tired again. It's been, well, also I got really hit with my allergies again this week. But yeah. So anyway, we can talk about media, TV antenna stuff. That's a thing that I'm interested in. That's what I got right here is my HD home run. And these are all the channels that I can get in my area. These are the UHF channels. Now, like, for example, this thing here, I have Fox 68, Cozy TV, My FM, and Dabby. I think it's still Dabby. A lot of Dabby's getting dropped in a lot of over-the-air markets. And this channel comes in, I find it comes in the summertime a lot. It's out of Syracuse, New York. We got Kurt on the line. Kurt is able to get Syracuse, New York.
Yep. It's 60 miles west of me.
Yeah. And you get Antenna TV. It used to be Me TV on this one, but now they switched to Antenna TV. So I actually get Antenna TV in two different bases. So I'm kind of hoping that I don't lose my Antenna TV on 101 West. And I usually don't have to worry about my dish being at 101 West because I can get Antenna TV with, or not Antenna, Me TV with the antenna. Antenna TV is not on... it used to be on KU band satellite for a while, but not anymore.
It's on 125, but it's a subscription thing.
Yeah, it's encrypted with for the affiliates. It's owned by WGN, which is now owned by Nextstar. I'm surprised that happened. That Nextstar owns WGN now. I don't know who owned WGN before. I think they were their own independent. Anyway, and another channels that I like, I guess this is showing some of the Sinclair broadcastings because it has Charge, TBD, and Comet, and it has like an NBC and a CBS network affiliate. That one's kind of coming in a little bit weak. And this is what I like about the HD home run is you got the configuration tool, and this is great for if you're adjusting your TV antenna. You can mess around with it. And this is another PBS one where they have a bunch of PBS channels. This is one I really like. It's channel 24 out of Watertown, New York, and it has like 7 channels of it. Now, 2 of them are shopping channels, but it has WNBC, Antenna TV, Grit TV, Bounce, and Core TV, QVC, and HSN. My main go-to would be Antenna TV because this comes in so reliably. This channel started around 2 years ago. It was a brand new channel, a brand new over-the-air broadcast channel, and when it first came in, with the repack, it's coming in a lot better now because I get it a lot more reliably now than when I first we were first getting that. And then I've always been able to get this PBS station, and this is PBS. Like CBC out of Canada, you should take notes from PBS. This is how you run a TV station. You have your main channel. You have WPBS, which is Create, one of those other channels. There's PBS World, and there is PBS Kids. So there's 4 channels here, and they have small towns will have PBS affiliates, but yet here in Canada, CBC can't really do that. No commercials either.
Where do you get the PBS out of?
This is Watertown's PBS that I'm looking at right here on UHF 26, and it scans in as channel 16. Okay. How can I email you? I had so much trouble getting the third thing tuned, like 2 questions. But, well, you're here on the live stream. You can ask them right here, and I will try to answer that right here if you want. My email is robbie_strike@hotmail.com. I still have a Hotmail account from the 90s. And, yeah, so PBS, I love PBS times at times. I like World. World has documentaries and stuff. That's kind of like A&E. That's what got me in. Today I was like watching was it Sam Kinison, the comedian, the screaming comedian? Say it! Say it! That guy. Anyway, I was kind of surprised to find out that he was a Pentecostal preacher in his early 20s before he became a stand-up comedian. But I guess he wasn't didn't have a church and wasn't making enough money, had a divorce, and decided to leave ministry and became a stand-up comedian. And I didn't know that, but I guess it was well known about that for years. Paul says, don't know what that website is, Paul. I'm not going to put it up here, but my dad is the cable guy, says Case Classy. You got ATSC 3.0. No, not spending $200 to $300 for a tuner at this time. Yeah, I mean, there's so much content. I have access to so much content right now with the satellite dish and everything else. So, yeah, I'm just gonna go back to my little scan of the channels, my over-the-air channels. I'm not sure if it's repacked with the ATSC 3 stuff on the Sinclair broadcasts. I don't know if there's more hidden channels I'd be able to get. This one's a good one. It's 50.1. It has ABC, and it has CW. I don't know. I never watched this one. It has Laugh. I like Laugh. It has Mystery, but mainly I watch Laugh for like the old shows. Most of the time when I put it on Laugh, it's got like those the dollar store version of America's Funniest Home Videos, like the world's funniest home videos. Hey, Leo. Leonardo is, Leo, you're in the chat. You're in the voice chat room as well. Bring your audio up if you want to say anything.
You were talking about PBS earlier,
Yeah.
and we got audio channels on PBS.
Oh yes, yes, they have that here.
A
Yeah,
lot of blind people here, and they can only hear.
yeah. Another thing I forgot to mention is in Canada, like our local CKWS affiliate, at least it used to have. It would have because it's owned by Chorus. Is it Chorus that owns Global, whatever, like Shaw family has their fingers in that. And they had the radio stations that are owned by that. Basically, they're all in the same building. The Chorus, the FM 96, I think, is the sort of thing that you can do is you could hit the button for the audio language selection on the and it just plays like the music from the radio station. I didn't feature that. Maybe not everyone knows to look for when they're watching over the air TV. Classy Canvas says we get all channels and internet for free through his cable. Yeah, when you got a family member working for cable, is it a big cable company or is it like a smaller regional company? Like the large ones, I don't know if they're still like that. I remember the older ones were like that. I remember the someone's chatting on Facebook. Let's make my phone go nuts. Turn off the Wi-Fi. That will make this thing not go off every minute. So I was like looking at my old cell phones because I still have my cell phones from the past, and they've gotten bigger. I mean, this is my current one, my Samsung, whatever Samsung it is, the A30 or something. I don't know what it is. This is my first smartphone, not my first cell phone, but my first smartphone, and it's a Motorola Atrix. And the reason why I bought this one it was kind of Linux based. It was Android, but they had like it was kind of this hybrid. You can get a laptop for it, plug the phone into your laptop, and but the laptop was like a couple extra $100 just for the laptop part, but it had a docking station. So I had the docking station, and you could plug it in and use it as a computer. Slow computer though, not a great computer for like watching YouTube on and all that. This is probably when did I get this? In 2000 and no, it wasn't 2000, maybe 2008 is when I got this. 2007, 2008, 2009. Like, you think back to 2008, 9. That most people didn't have smartphones. That people are still using flip phones. Anyway, this was my first smartphone. And I wanted it an Android one, even back in 2008 or not 9, whenever I got this thing. Could be 2010. I can't remember exactly. And another thing is with my HD home run, I used to watch TV on my little phone. This is a small screen too. Like this is what we used back in the day. Anyway, it doesn't work anymore. That's the sad thing about this. It's very crashy. Cell phones, I found, like I would always buy the cheaper ones, and then you'd end up having to buy you'd put an SD card in, but then it would still fill up with all the apps and bloatware. Just to have Facebook on this phone, it wouldn't work. Facebook was like the app, just to have the messenger in it, clogged up the phone, so I had to get a new phone. What is it? A free site to create your own IPTV. I don't know if you're talking about Restream. I guess you could totally run a TV station using Restream and just stream your content to Twitch, YouTube, and all that. People stream channels on YouTube as well. I'm actually surprised if you search, you'll find channels on YouTube that are live TV channels. One of the big ones in America is what Classy says. And anyway, back to my. Sorry, I'm doing a scan here again tonight. This channel 35, which scans in as 28.1. That's Watertown. I think it's WNYF. So I believe that's Watertown. Maybe New York, whatever. And it has MeTV. That's the one that doesn't have MeTV with the right aspect ratio, but I usually just have to zoom in on the screen just a bit to be able to pick it up. This station doesn't come in all the time, but it's coming in tonight. It's the Ion network. No Cubo anymore, but it has Grit, Core TV, basically a lot of the channels that the Antenna TV has. There's not much else. Like when you go in the higher UHF channels, no one's really broadcasting there anymore. They've sort of repacked everything so it all fits in. And that's talking about like with the UHF stuff. Yeah. So anyway. So I posted that video there. I finally got around to editing the last analog channel that was still coming in, which was the C-SPAN, the American CPAC. In Canada, we have a channel called CPAC. It's kind of like what C-SPAN is in the States. Pat says, my first phone like that was a Motorola G Gen 1. Were they like the first smartphones? Like, are you talking about like the original Motorola cell phones, like from way back in the day? Because I know Motorola, they still make microchips and all that, but they got out of what happened to Motorola? They got bought by Google. Something like that happened there. All these big companies buy each other. But I like my Motorola Atrix phone. My Atrix was this one here, the Atrix. It was a phone. I had it for about at least 5 years. So it worked for me for a long time. And then I bought my first Samsung. I think that lasted a couple of years. And then I ended up getting the Samsung that I have now, and I really like the camera on it. Like, it has a pretty decent video camera. I don't use it for my YouTube work. I use this camera here a lot of the time. It's my Canon camcorder, but the pictures are pretty good on this camera. Because we had lockdown, we did like class pictures and stuff like that. We used the camera from our phone. Get the right lighting, and the camera can be decent. Oh, wow. Patrick says that he had watching on a Motorola Z2 Play video projector with video projector. That's a fancy phone. And another thing I found with phones that they don't build anymore, but was like a classy feature or like a status feature, is some cell phones had a IR blaster. So and they don't make them anymore. Certain things that they don't put in cell phones is a IR blaster, so you can get an app on your phone and control anything that has IR on it. So you control your TVs, and you'd get the codes off the app, or you can control your air conditioner, or your cable box, satellite box. I don't know about free-to-air receivers and stuff like that, because like those are where you get into obscure territory. Now they have like the universal remotes that actually have remote learning, so you can point your actual original remote and get the code into it and program it that way. That's something I've always wanted to get into, and just have something like I can control with a web interface, where you can control your TV, all your stuff with via IR, but I go onto a web interface and control everything, either with a web interface or with an app.
You're talking about something like Logitech Harmony remote?
Yeah, the large, but I didn't want to spend like I'm cheap, eh? I don't want to spend. Some of them are a couple $100, and I'm like, no,
They stopped making them now.
Oh yeah, I figured that.
Oh, yeah, they stopped?
Yep.
Yeah, I haven't seen them
Rest in peace.
Yeah, well, see with remotes, a lot of TVs now are going with with Wi-Fi. You know, the internet connections. So my TV upstairs, which is a Roku TV, the kids run off the remote. I just go to my phone and I have the Roku app on my phone, and it turns into a remote, and you can control the TV through that via the Wi-Fi.
Oh, wow.
And another thing I like about that is, and I did a whole video on that, the Roku app, is you can plug headphones into it. So when I'm watching wrestling, no one else, my wife doesn't like when the announcers and all the loud noise. I just wear my headphones, plug it into the phone, listen to the TV sitting on the couch with my headphones on. I have other devices and ways of doing that. It's just a simple way because you always have your phone with you, and you can just plug a pair of my dollar store headphones that cost $5, and away you go. Hey Denny, my phone is a Asus Zenfone 4. If Asus, all right, sorry, I'm not pronouncing Asus. I always pronounce it Asus. It's Asus and other, it's other pronunciations. But I like it. I like the brand Asus. Like this laptop behind me here, you see, is an Asus, which I should just fold up and put away, but because it crashes all the time. It's the cleaned it out, but it's still like it. What happens is getting old. It's an old laptop, so it runs and all of a sudden just overheats and you hear it just shut off, and you have to restart it. It was a good laptop though. I used it for years for my channel. My $40 secondhand laptop that someone had a virus on it with Windows, didn't know how to fix it. It actually already had Linux Mint on it, the old version that a lot of people put a hat on. Paul and Brian asks Paul a question. Paul Stringer, you have a group on Facebook, a group I encourage you guys, if you're not on, to join. I'll pull up my web browser here. This one. There we go. Pull up my web browser. I'm just going to go up to Facebook. So I should probably post this in the group notes or whatever. And I'll put it in the thing here. Let me just figure out how to get to Facebook here. Facebook using my Strike account. And I got what's your group called, Paul? I wanted people to join that. Over the air, was it? I'm blanking now. Trying to find my groups. HD TV antennas, free to air satellite dishes, cut the cable. So we got about 1.3K members in there. So let me just cut to that. That's the group there. Please join that. It's the group all indoors. Just a good place to join, and if you're interested in TV antennas and all sorts of stuff like that, this is probably the place I would recommend. It hasn't been active as what it once was. And hey, I'll put the cable up, or the link here in the box here. I'll post that up there. If you're not a member there, join that. There it is there. Facebook group. HD, cut your cable. Yep. Free to air TVs and satellite there. So there's a link there in the group. So if you want to call in tonight, I'll add a link here in the chat room. So you can call in, turn on your webcam and chat. Saturday night live TV chat. I gotta come up with a cooler title than that. I don't know. I just threw it together in a hurry. It's like, okay. Denny asks, what will become of C-band with 5G? And I've answered this before on a previous stream, and I've also done a couple of videos on that. Check that out over on my channel, which is Robbie Strike on YouTube, Ottawa Octane. So what's happening with C-band right now is the FCC has sold off a lot of the spectrum to the telecommunications companies. So it doesn't really mean C-band is going away. It doesn't mean that, you know, the billions of dollars that big companies have paid to put spacecraft into orbit years ago, and they still are putting them up, that they're obsolete. It just means that they're moving the spectrum, so there won't be as many frequencies as what they've always had before. But with C-band also, you got to take into account the technology has changed. So now, like before, as I showed you, and if you watched my previous video, I showed an analog receiver. An analog receiver would get 24 channels on it, and maybe like 24 vertical, 24 horizontal in some cases. And now you can fit that on one transponder. So you can fit hundreds of channels, if not close to 1,000, depending on the bit rate for these channels. So with compression, it's kind of been a game changer with that. And yeah, they probably will need a filter LMB, which is kind of an unproven thing right now. We don't know how it's going to affect you. Now, if you're living way out in the country and there's not a 5G tower in close proximity to you, you're probably better off. So for C-band users, you're probably better off further in the country. And I think that's where a lot of people C-band's useful. If you're a homesteader, if you're, you know, not in a big city, what it's going to affect is a lot of the TV broadcasts, like in Montreal, where they have the satellite uplinks. It could affect some transponders. I don't think it's going to affect all transponders, because what I've always seen with C-band is you get cross, especially with an 8-footer, which I've learned. If you have frequencies that there are transponders that are close in frequency, sometimes you can get two different satellites. You can get interference off the other satellite, and you might not get your signal in as better. I thought it was 5G or whatever, but there's no 5G towers in Canada. Canada is always slower to adopt 5G compared to in the States. So yeah, so larger dish. If you're living in a city and you still want to be able to get C-band, you might have to have a 10-footer, a good, you know, good quality 10-footer, or you might have to have something even maybe larger. But I think a 10-footer, if you're in the central U.S., you should be. I think you should be okay. Oh yeah. There's nothing more abusive than an angry cable customer, Dad says. Yeah, I imagine. I find with the people who work in cable, it's one of the least, I guess people are not happy with them. People complain about the cable company a lot. So there's a good question. How many video channels transponders are you able to receive in 4K in North America? I can receive one 4K channel. Definitely, Denny, I encourage you to check out my receiver videos, especially the Amiko receiver video. It's on my channel. It's probably where I go in. I don't know how many 4K channels, and I don't see 4K being rolled out. I think 4K is going to be better than 3D TV. But if you remember all the hype from a few years ago, as 3D TV was going to be like the next generation of TV, and you don't see any. I don't even think there is any 3D TV channels anymore. There was a couple years ago because they were trying to push that. They're trying to sell 3D TVs. Oh yes, Patrick has a 10-footer. So NASA and a fashion channel is pretty much what you can get. That's 4K. Not a whole lot. And even the NASA channel that is 4K, it's not the main NASA channel. It's like a promotional video channel. It's not the video file stuff. Maybe they're showing different stuff on since I've last watched it, where they show like interviews with the people on the space station. You see a lot of that because they always talk to schools and stuff, and they'll put that. Yeah. A1L says, "Hey man, help clear up a lot of my doubts with your videos. Thanks a lot. I appreciate it. Have one more question. Go ahead and ask." Just, I don't know why people. I get a lot of people on Facebook. They do this to me. Hi, I'm like, hi. Just ask a question. Just go right and ask a question. Don't ask a question. Just ask the question. Sorry, I didn't mean to. Hopefully that you didn't take that in a rude way or anything. I was just a little bit of frustration recently. I've been getting lots of people. Can I ask you a question? And I'm like doing stuff. I'm like, okay. I finally get time to it. Denny says he has 2 channels in 4K. What channels are they? And Jonathan says fashion is trashing, but NASA channel is cool. I love the NASA channel. I probably should be pointing there and watching some of. There's some cool stuff happening. Oh yeah, there's a landscape channel, which is not even really a TV channel. It's just like they show, as I say, high quality video footage of like nature and stuff, right? Oh yeah. Denny says, yeah, he gets the same channels in South America. Are you in what country are you in, Denny? And there's Nature TV. Mm-hmm. Who asks a question about EPG? Goes to the TV guys for HD TVs. Is it UE based modulators? I'm not sure I understand that question. Okay. Yeah, and Jonathan McKee says 3D is awesome. My neighbor has an old 3D smart TV. Yeah, I don't even see 3D smart TVs being promoted anymore. Maybe they still have. I thought it was kind of cool, but a lot of people were complaining about headaches. Half the people I knew that would do them. I didn't get any headaches from them. I thought it was kind of a neat effect. But with the 3D TVs, and this might have been the ones that came out a couple of years ago, back with the 3D TV phase was heyday was. It wasn't even my TV, but you had to sit in the sweet spot in the middle of the TV. So it couldn't be like, you can all sit together and watch the 3D TV. You had to be sitting kind of centered in the sweet spot to be able to see the 3D effects. No, I don't. David Carter asks, any updates on the location and projection of the Chinese satellite debris. No, someone was saying in the group, what's this have to do with satellite? But I'm like, well, rockets put satellite into space, and also rockets can fall on a satellite dish, I guess, somewhere. They're big, right? Yeah. Okay, that's fine. Is that mine? Yeah, that's my group. I guess should probably promote my group. Actually, I want to promote my group on MeWe. I don't have MeWe on this thing here. Okay. Anyway, in my last video, I posted all the other groups where I have satellite groups on MeWe and Minds and places like that. So if you wanted to avoid big media, you can do that, and you still find satellite information. And also, what happens if some of these big media companies happen to go down, right? God's wrath. Or so you'll have another option out there to get connected online. My audio and video are not synchronized. Well, it's not. I don't think it's that necessary. As long as you can hear me, that's all I care about. I'd rather this just be a podcast. Like I don't know. I remember back in the days with streaming. Maybe I got to do this to tell the AI restream to sync my audio. I remember the days of Real Player going on the internet, and back in the 90s and trying to watch streaming video, and it was like 1 frame per minute with the really low quality, like the that tinny AM, maybe even worse than AM radio and shortwave radio quality sound. Okay. Yeah, so, did anyone come into the room? No. No Rick rollers tonight. I'm talking about PC cards here in the chat room. Minister Brandon says, Real Player, why would we want to remember it for LOL? Yeah, I think there was Real Player for Linux that I had on years ago, back in my Ubuntu days before I migrated over to Linux Mint. And Linux, that's when I was on Windows XP, and then I got a disk for Ubuntu, and then I kind of had dual booted for a bunch of years. Now it's like I'm totally emerged in Linux Mint. I'm going to give Linux Mint the credit for that because it's just easier than Windows. I have Windows on this computer. I never booted into it because I figured it'd be like a day of updates because it's been like almost a year since I've been in loaded up Windows. Paul says, back in the day, we used Real Player and Windows Media Player for streaming videos. Yep. I use VLC. And I use another program in Linux that I really like called SM Player. And it's basically like Windows. It's kind of like a media player program. And because I watch satellite receiver, you could do that. We got Denny joining us in the chat room. How can I pass? Let's try. Not gonna go in there. Not gonna go in there. Leo says I was in Fedora for a while. Hey, we got. I don't know if I turned you up. Yeah, you did turn you up. Okay. We got Trevor in here too. How's it going, Denny?
Hello.
And we got Trevor.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Oh, we're doing good. Turn him down. Maybe he just had his camera on. Sometimes people hit restream and their camera comes right on, and they don't intend that to be on. Sorry if you had you on there and if you didn't want to be on.
Yeah. I was on Florida 32 for a while.
No, yes.
Someone said.
Yeah, that was Leo. Yeah, I tried Fedora and I tried a few other distros. I used to like put a whole whack of the distros on my computer, and then I don't want that. Turn that off. There we go. And then now it's I'm just kind of meant I don't really care about experimenting with all these other distros and things all the time. Kurt cut off there. Put him back up. How do we get it so it's just on myself? There we go.
You use Debian Linux, just straight Debian, because Ubuntu, Linux Mint, and everything else is based on Debian. So
Yeah,
when you say
yeah.
Debian, do you mean straight Debian or like something based on Debian?
You talking to me, Trevor, or?
Oh, no. Someone in the chat asked. I use Debian on my Linux on my laptop.
I tried the straight Debian, but it doesn't have the user friendliness that Ubuntu or Linux Mint has. With there's different distros out there. Like you have to certain drivers you have to install and things like that. With Ubuntu and Linux Mint, it's the easy. Not a whole lot of problems with doing it. But then there's other people, they don't mind doing all that extra stuff. It makes their system a little bit more slimmed down because they don't have all that extra bloat. I guess not really bloatware, but extra stuff that could slow it down.
Yeah. I actually, the other day, tried to install Linux Mint Cinnamon 64 on my computer, dual booted with Windows, and I booted it and nothing worked. I booted and none of my video or nothing was working. I heard audio and my keyboard and everything's working, but my screens were completely blank. So I don't know what that was about.
Yeah, sometimes there's drivers and with certain things with. I remember the early days when I had Ubuntu, I don't know, 6 whatever it was back in 2006. And your Wi-Fi drivers, you'd have to manually install a lot of them. Not every computer, but some of them. So what I ended up doing, sometimes I would have like a USB Wi-Fi for a laptop and just stick that, and it would just be my quick, easy fix, right?
Yeah.
And then I think everything else would pretty much work. I think at least when I started getting into it in 2006, it was getting to be... like anything prior to that, like for maybe the late 90s and early 2000s, it was really a mess to get it working. Now a lot of it now, I testify to it. It's like it's easier than setting up Windows sometimes.
Yeah,
and easier to use because like with Mint, it's like Windows XP in a lot of ways.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I love it, and I haven't really, I probably forgotten stuff about computers that I used to know because it's so easy, right? Stuff that I guess I didn't even need to remember anyway, really. Well, you gave me a link to it a while back, and I just haven't dug back in to get it. Was that crypto mining stuff?
Yeah,
because I'd like to. I don't even want to mine Bitcoin. I just want to mine the smaller coins there, the ones that are doing well. I forget. I keep the XRP stuff. I think is what it's called. It's like yeah. Anyway, it's you can buy a whole coin for a couple bucks. Where a Bitcoin it's like $63,000 for a coin.
Yes, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, so kind of the hope is that maybe one of these other coins will be $63,000 a coin, maybe in like 10 years or so. Maybe you never know, right?
Talking about the Bitcoin, we have ATM machines already here in Houston for the Bitcoin.
Yeah, we have them here too. But the thing is with Bitcoin is it's just easier to buy it online. It's just as easy to buy it online, right? So do you ever record any satellite TV? You still use a VCR for any? Do you ever record any satellite TV? Mainly, I use a PVR on my open ATV type satellite receiver. So I just have a hard drive plugged into it. And with that, I can just, record my program. Even some of the Amiko receiver that I have, you just plug like a USB thumb drive in it and it becomes a PVR. And it makes it better, pretty easy to record programming. But I still use a VCR. I got a VCR right behind me here on the wall there. Whoop, there it is. Still have the analog satellite receiver. That's where it is. I was playing around with that last week.
I'm actually, I don't know what I'm doing right now. Why is this being like this?
Best configuration for a certain routers. I'm not sure. I'm not a big. I usually just buy a router, put and get set the password, and I don't really mess with it. And okay. Okay, here's one. I got a Hodgepodge Win TV to record TV for over-the-air TV. Yeah, I got one of those. I got a video on my channel where I talk about where in Linux I use a program called Caffeine. I think I was talking to Leo about that too. We're talking about using Linux to record TSC 1 stuff. And I think I don't know if that program will, you'll be able to get TSC 3 tuner. Hopodge is the best, says John Yoder. Yeah.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
Yeah, you know what? If maybe I'll go with one of their tuners if they come out with a ATSC 3 tuner.
What I don't like is their software. Their software is freezes up on me. That's why I switched to Linux Mint.
Yeah, the program I like to use with that is the Caffeine program. You can schedule your recordings and stuff like that. The only thing I don't like about it is it doesn't give you a very good signal quality reading on it. It tells you either get 60% or nothing on my system. So it's not the most helpful for aiming an antenna like my HD home run is. And the HD home run, they made some certain things proprietary on it that you can I think there's software you can get around it, but to actually make it into a PVR and record programming and scheduling that, they have a service that they want you to subscribe to. Or I think you could use a what's that program that's really complicated to set up?
Mint TV.
Yeah, the Linux program it's really complicated to set up. Myth TV, yeah, yes, what you said. Remember the DVB SPCR cards? Yeah, I didn't like those cards though. I played around with some of those. I think because I got a USB one, and one I returned because they didn't work very well. It's the sort of thing where I want them to work in Linux. But I know with the Hotpodge USB devices, you can plug them into the one I have, the Edison Mayo. So the Edison Mayo doesn't have a ATSC tuner built into it, but you can plug one of those into it, and it will detect it, scan in the channels, and you can have a folder for ATSC channels hooked up to your antenna. So you can have your satellite and your antenna channels on the same device.
That's cool.
Yeah. Now there is satellite receivers. I used to have a Sonic View receiver. This is after 2008 when there was some legal stuff going on with that company. And anyway, I bought it because it was cheap, and it had an over-the-air tuner in it, and you could use it as a PVR. It was an ET tuner as well as a DVB S2-ish receiver. But then eventually I just ended up getting the codecs all changed and all that, so I ended up getting a newer receiver. And they were built cheap too, eh? I don't think it lasted too many years, and now it doesn't even work.
Boop.
That's interesting. Whoop, I don't want to block you. Just trying to show. Dan Pete says, another hear about pipeline being closed due to a cyber attack. Is that like the big fiber optic pipeline? Yeah, stuff like that can happen, eh? And then you're out without internet. The big cyber attack or something like that, and you need to see a satellite dish for a backup if that were to happen. Be informed. Have shortwave radios. Have free-to-air satellite stuff. Hey Kenny, what satellites are more active than others for wild feeds and opening programming? I've talked about this before. I think it's like the news feeds are on 87 West a lot of the time and 99 West. I think there's more shows, at least there was years ago. I haven't really looked too much into it recently, on 125 West and 123 West KU band. They have like a lot of shows, backhauls, and feeds like that. And then there's also a lot of stuff on C-band that 99 West had a service that used to show the shows, like all the court shows and all that, without the commercials. So you used to get, was it the G? It was like a G something, a 4-letter acronym that used to be on 99 West and had all the network shows without the commercials, and would just sort of play that way. Yeah, I've done a few videos on EPG. If you type my name into YouTube and type in EPG, probably a few of them will come up. A lot of my solution for satellite TV in North America is to just go to TV Titan TV, or there's FTA listings. I forget the name of the site now. It doesn't come to mind.
Yeah, that's one thing I was curious about. Why don't we have EPG on free to air here? Why is that?
Maybe it's an extra cost for the backhauls. I'm not sure. Or maybe they just have a different system for the data, or they just program the data. It's a different system for them to transfer it from DVB to ATSC.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe they just enter it at the TV station. I'm not sure. Also, a local TV station is going to want to program in their local programming. Yes, thank you, Kurt. FTAlistings.com is copy paste that. Yeah, FTAlistings.com is a good place for satellite EPG stuff. Yeah, yeah. We've had John says was talking about outages due to fiber optic lines getting cut. What if a rocket falls on where the towers or the uplink where the what if the rocket falls on Google? From China. It's always good to have a backup. Satellites backup. And also just, with that whole infrastructure of the way the internet works, it's always yeah.
Are they gonna?
That looks like an Atari joystick behind you. It is actually. You know what I'm gonna do next week if I don't. I got this hooked up via USB here. Got a USB to DIM9 connector, and I was playing Atari games. There's a website called Virtual Atari. Play it right now. I don't care. Virtual Atari, and it just has like classical Atari games. Who?
Are they gonna upload stuff to satellites if the internet's down?
I don't really use the satellites. They don't really use that for internet. Although with Starlink, obviously they'll use that. There's HughesNet, but even with HughesNet, the problem with them would be, and some servers did not like this. They would download the web pages, and it would bog down the servers for certain web pages, so that they had it would be on their own servers. So when all the HughesNet customers would go to websites, it would slow down service. I don't know if they do that anymore. That was years ago.
Yeah, they did do that. Yeah, they did. Basically, you set a certain amount of storage on your hard drive for website copies, and then Usenet will automatically send them down to your hard drive, and then you access from your hard drive. That was back in the early 2000s.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna do a Twitch gaming thing probably maybe next week, and I'm gonna play Atari games online. So there's this site here called Virtual Atari, and it's just like an archive of old Atari games. So it's gonna be really loud. I'm just gonna bring my audio down here on my computer. So yeah, I got Yar's Revenge playing here. It's gonna flicker on me, eh? Oh, that's awful. And you click on here's the settings here. Actually, with Yar's Revenge, you don't need the all that junk. Oh, and be fired up, and I got killed right away. This is the first Atari game I played. Oh, it flickers horribly. Yeah, I can't even see the zone here. The flicker rate really messes around with this. I thought I could do this on Twitch or something, just play retro games, but I don't think it's going to be happening.
Archive got amazing archive of old games too. The archive.org.
Oh yeah, archive.org would have this too. Probably is actually. This is probably just from archive, or maybe I don't know. I'm gonna turn this off because it's really loud. Just turn the Java Atari off. So that's what I was doing earlier. I had the Atari joystick, and I wanted to play with a real Atari joystick. You know what's better though is to get a Sega Genesis, 6-button controller. If you have an old Atari 2600 or a Atari 8-bit home computer, or Commodore 64 and the Amiga, you can play use a Sega Genesis controller on it. I just like that controller better. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, it was kind of not flickering really, really bad. I just thought I'd show that. I don't know if I'll do a stream about gaming. I'm not a gamer, really. I like when I'm on YouTube, I watch a lot of gaming videos, like retro games and stuff like that. Consoles and console wars and all that. I can't believe that PlayStation outsold everything else pretty much. PlayStation and Xbox, just games. If you ever watch the sales stats of video game systems, and I guess gaming really took off when PlayStation and Xbox showed up on the scene.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. Like there was Nintendo before, which would break records, like the original NES and Super Nintendo. Sega Genesis, when I was a teenager in the 90s, the Sega Genesis was kind of like the cool system to have. I liked that. And then we kind of looked at the Super Nintendo as kind of the kid's toy because Sega Genesis had Mortal Kombat with the blood codes. And then everyone has their opinion of what system they like better. I actually like both. Now you can just emulate anything if you want.
Do you have a Raspberry Pi or anything?
I do.
I like the option where you can set the Raspberry. I mean, you can do it on any Linux box, but you can set the Raspberry Pi up as an SDR receiver, and then plug your SDR into the Raspberry Pi, and then you just connect to it via any other SDR software on any of your computers. I found that pretty cool.
Oh yes,
that's what I used to use my Pi for all the time.
Yeah, I used it mainly for a media box. I got some RetroPie images burnt to a few SD cards. I have one I could play WrestleFest on. I love that. We got Vong and ALP joining us in the voice chat room. If you guys wanted to chime in, go ahead.
I really know nothing about what you're talking about, but it's interesting.
Oh, yeah. That's all right.
I get the gaming part.
The gaming part you get, yeah?
Yes, same with the Raspberry Pi.
Oh, yeah, you got with your Wi-Fi there, yeah. Let's fix this screen up here. There we go, we got the chat room going. I'm going to turn this screen off here. Yeah, I haven't really messed around too much with the Raspberry Pi. I've, as I said, I did a lot of the Kodi stuff that I would do on Raspberry Pi. And Kurt and Leo there. Okay. And yeah, it's fun for gaming. I tried to use Raspberry Pi as Ubuntu Mate. I installed Ubuntu Mate, but then when I have the Raspberry Pi 2B, 2B something, and when I was kind of disappointed because I wasn't able to watch VLC or YouTube videos without it crashing using Ubuntu Mate, but yet I can watch stuff with Kodi with the OpenELEC Kodi install.
Yes, because the Raspberry Pi has a hardware encoder on it.
Yeah.
And I guess it don't work with Mate.
No, it doesn't.
I have used, however, with Raspberry and OS, I have used VLC and it works fine on Raspberry and OS. Yes.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Raspberry.
Now I got a Raspberry Pi 3B. So.
Yeah, I'd probably have to upgrade, but I'm not going to upgrade just for that. I mean, it is fun though. You can do a lot of stuff with it. It's just for watching video. But then my solution is like you just pop the SD card out, you put another image in with another SD card, and then it's like popping a game console thing out, right?
Hold on.
It's sitting over there on the shelf, and I never use it. My kids are not into gaming at this stage, so they're into their tablets at this point. That's probably where they're going to be. Kids don't know about linear TV, and they don't know about console games. I think it's all going to be tablet games for them.
Yeah, it was my Raspberry Pi.
Oh yeah, is that the 3 or
3B? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
This is actually my PBX box until my SD card crashed. I haven't bothered.
Your PBS.
My Astros. No, my PBX, private branch exchange server for my phone system.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, your phone system thing you have with the answering machine and all that, yeah.
Yeah. This is now running on my old computer over here.
Oh yeah. Yeah. What I discovered with the Raspberry Pi is sometimes it's better just to buy an old PC that's more capable, a little bit more powerful, especially for a media for a media PC. Now with Raspberry Pi, there is some things that I was able to do with a Raspberry Pi. This receiver here. I'll show you the box. Yeah. So this is my Edison Mio satellite receiver. It's I've done a review on this. So this is a Linux-based satellite receiver. So what I can do with this is with Kodi, there's an add-on and an extension, so I can remotely control the satellite receiver over Wi-Fi. So if I have a different section of my house and I want to watch the C-band channels or something like that and stream it to it, it can do it with that. But I can do it on this computer no problem anyway. So like with this computer, I just use web interface and go in. For my computer, I type in 192.168.1.3, and then I'm into the satellite receiver, and I play around with. Basically, just click on a little picture of the video in the background, and it just plays whatever's on TV. So I never really showed that too much on here. All right, let me pull it up here first. I never actually use it on on Chrome. To bring it up. 8.1.3. Oh, why does it go to Google? I don't want that. Oh, .3. I don't want them. I don't want to go to Google to get my satellite receiver. Although I'm using Chrome, so it could do that. There we go. So I'll make sure there's nothing in there that you guys don't need to see. Okay. So I will click on, there we go. All right, so I'll just try to show you what's going on here on my satellite receiver. So this is my open, this is actually my ZGamma H7. So I got my favorites list here of the channels that my generally go-to channels. And so it'll tell me my signal quality right now and things like that. Signal quality on RT is about 31%. You're getting a black screen? Okay.
I see it just fine.
Okay. Could be the feed. And so I'm going to stick with RT because RT will probably work. And I just click on the little stream icon there. And it should pop up on VLC. Actually, it's going to use Totem. I'm just going to bring the audio down here. So usually I'll use VLC, but right now it's going to Totem. So you just click on that little box there. It will start streaming to your desktop. And there we got RT playing there in the background. Just full screen it. I don't use Totem all the time. Usually I use SM Player. But it'll work for any media player just because I don't normally use Chrome. I use Firefox for this. And then if you want to change the channel, generally I close that out. So there's a little bit more process in doing that. And I just go back to my favorites. And I don't even know if this one's coming in right now. Yeah, there's signal quality there. Anyway, I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube. I'll avoid that one. What's another channel I can check out? Go to this one here, favorites. Smile the Child's another one I go to a lot. And then it's just loading it there. You see it sort of just simmering to go. There we go. And I could actually open it to show in the folder. Oh, wait. Not showing that folder. Just open it up and it'll play. There's smile of a child playing in a video player. I just don't have it set up for VLC. I think I can fix the aspect though. Yeah, stretch it or crop it or whatever I got to do. I don't use this totem player as much. Or this is X player. I think it's based on totem. Anyway, it's what comes pre-installed with Linux Mint. But that's one way I just watch the satellite stuff in the background. Yeah, I can have the Z Gamma playing in the background. With the Z Gamma too, I can run Kodi off that, but it doesn't really run Kodi anymore with Kodi or whatever the Kodi player app is. Denny says, RT America, I have a 58 West in South America. Yeah, I get 58 West here. There's a lot of channels, a lot of international channels there. News out of China and stuff like that. But actually, that RT is off Galaxy 19. I just have like a shot direct satellite dish that was abandoned, and I picked it up and I use that for KU band. Someone's watching. Someone's watching. Well, that's my stream. Looks like they're watching on a projector. I think that's ALP. That's the guy that's my Rick roller. Yeah, turn your audio down.
Yeah. Rick Roll's coming back apparently.
Did I tell you? Were you here last? Or you weren't on last week? I guess he put it up on YouTube. His Rick rolling skit.
Really?
So if you search on YouTube, Robbie Strike got Rick rolled or whatever, it's there. And then you know what? And I've changed that to my ringtone. Is that now? I changed it from the history lesson from War Games. I'll probably put that back because I love that ringtone.
Oh yeah, I found it.
Yeah. It's
Oh, wow.
that's Patrick. Is that you, Patrick? I can make out what is going on there. I don't know. I see the screen in there in the background. It's a double screen too. Yeah. Somebody swore, I think, last week, and then my video got limited. Didn't get demonetized, just got limited for the amount of advertising, which is fine, whatever. Catch the live stream live, and there won't be the ads. We're getting close to 10 o'clock. Getting close to bedtime.
Somebody was asking about Me TV Plus.
You find anything new about that, Leo?
No, I don't know any information on that.
No, me neither. I'd like to know more about the Me TV Plus. I think it's just in limited markets. It's an experiment by who owns them? Nexstar? No, Nexstar is Antenna TV. I think Nexstar is the one that owns WGN and all that type stuff. The thing is, back what I remember back in the day, it was in the 90s, WGN was like kind of like what WGN and TBS were kind of like what Antenna TV and MeTV are now. It was like how you get that kind of stuff.
What is going on?
I don't know. I don't know.
That's it. You're getting more popular. Anytime you have streams, you're going to have more trolls like that.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah. As long as they don't get like crazy stalkers.
I'm not a troll.
Oh yeah, it is Patrick. I was like, wondering what was going on there, Patrick.
One of your guy before was asking me to show me the projector on a Motorola. So
Okay.
this is the
That's the
screen of my phone on the projector. I still own a 120-inch screen for my other projector. So it's just to mess with you a bit.
Yeah. Well, I saw strange things happening. I was like, okay, does anyone can join this room? It's
And my shirt is white, so
yeah. So your screen, Patrick, is it a white screen or is it like a grayish, silverish screen for your projector?
a white one, as you can see right now. So maybe if a big ass one.
Yeah. Oh, it's actually a pull down screen. Oh wow,
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
The guys from just a moment. Whoop, but I hear. As you can see here,
Oh yeah, I see you put the chains there. Yeah.
I use that for this big ESS projector, the old CRT one. This
Yeah.
one is an HD one, so I still use that one from time to time.
I have a projector right here. I busted it out from ViankYo. ViankYo. It's probably plugged in right now. It's like one of those $100 projectors. I'll bring it up. There we go. On that too. I guess I'm gonna have to say this video has product placements in it now. So yeah, I got this projector from ViankYo, and it's just
an Android phone inside.
basically, yeah, it pretty much is. Like it's a simple media player. It has Wi-Fi, but YouTube on that is not the greatest, and it has no memory of anything you searched for. You know what I did? I bought a USB stick to put all my home movies in, and now I just have all my home movies. The kids like to watch this on a little micro SD card. You just stick it in there, and it has like pretty much it's a 32 gigabyte or whatever. It has all my home videos on it. It's a tiny projector, but it projects like I got 10 foot of screen. But what I ended up buying for a screen, which I find works for two different things, is I got one of these green screen stands. And the green screen stand, it's also can be multi-purpose. I use it for a green screen stand, or I can just take a white sheet and make a big projection screen. You know, pull out, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It's for the kids, They have fun with it.
Yeah.
So I have a giant wall here, but there's like a doorway. So to make the screen just a little bit bigger, I can cover the doorway with the screen and have like an 11-inch movie screen here in this room. Now I could put it, right behind me. Another I was thinking too is I could put it behind me where this TV is here. Maybe move the TV someday and just have like this giant screen. The only reason why this wall here is not a projection screen is there's a bunch of light switches behind the TV console thing here. So it kind of made it suck for that kind of thing. If I had a screen like what Patrick has, just something you pull down and you have the movie screen, which would be a good idea for that too. But this is something that's huge, like 11 foot, larger than 11 foot. So
Yeah, those screens are quite big here. I'm not supposed to be able to have enough space for that. And what I did, gosh, I don't like my shin on this. What I did is using chain and hook it to the roof, actually to the ceiling. I mean, so
Yeah.
it worked. And
On a stud to screw it into up there.
yeah, I just used the same hook you use for any plants you want, or any light you want to hook on the roof. It will work. It's not that heavy, so it's gonna work, and it lasts. It also lasts. But my problem here, as you can see, it has to be a foot and a half in front of the TV, so it won't jam on the TV when I.
Are you using the phone right now? Like, I want to see what this is. This like a smartphone with a projector? Is that what you're talking about?
What do you mean? Because right now I'm using an old webcam from the 90s.
Oh, yeah, no, your projector that you're using. What is that?
Yeah, I was using my phone, my Motorola phone, which has a plug-in with it, an actual hardware plug-in, a video projector that you snap on the phone. But for watching movie and not fooling around like earlier, I tend to use a CRT projector. Those one have 15,000 volts in that. Those are big and dangerous industrial stuff NASA used back in the day. I will show you, just not right now. I'm not holding the camera near enough.
Yeah, like my projector. What surprises me is it's all like LED stuff, right? So like I had a projector from early 2000s, and the thing I was afraid it was going to die on me sooner or later anyway, so I sold it. And it would get hot, like you burn your hand touching it. This thing, it doesn't really get that hot. You hear the fan and all that because it's all LED, and so I'm comfortable with my kids playing with this. When I was a kid, I had a magnet ejector with like 100-watt light bulb in the thing, and I used to burn my hands playing with this kid toy that you burn yourself with.
This one is 1500 watts.
Oh yeah, high industrial stuff. Anything too expensive, I don't want to burn. I don't even want.
That was expensive. I think it was $22,000 back in the day. It's a 1995 projector that's been retrofitted for HD. Let's go. So here a little demo of back in the day. I will hold the camera here so you can. Sorry for the bad video. So this projector.
Oh, that's one of those. Yeah, I remember those.
Those have glycol on the front of the CRT, so the colors have some kind of tint. And it says on this, sorry, just a moment. So as you can see, you have the three lens.
Yeah.
And if you bear with me just a moment, so.
Yeah. I remember the museums used to have those, like the Museum of Science and Technology and the Museum of Civilization in Hull.
There's an industrial version of this one with the same CRT and lens that is hooked to a box instead of a video projector like that, and it's what was actually used back at NASA back in the 90s. So. As you can see, quite dangerous, this stuff.
Oh yeah, you burn your hand off touching it.
Yeah, for radiation and all those things. And from what you can see here, there's 3 high voltage black and white CRT in this, with a lot of plugins and electronics at the back. All those are carved like a PC. You just unscrew it, and you will get the board, because you can. There's someone in Vancouver who sell the board for this to hook it to an HDMI setup. So like you can see here right now, it's just our RGB. Oh, I was not watching the camera. Sorry, because I'm watching you on the restream, so there's a lag. Sorry.
Yeah, there's a big lag.
And
put one picture on here. I'm just trying to figure a cut here as I'm editing. We have John Yoder. Sorry if I don't pronounce your name right correctly.
It's Yoder. Y-O-D-E-R.
Oh, cool. You got an echo there, John.
Oh, sorry.
You're coming from from. Oh, I don't even think of the thing there. Houston or whatever, not Houston. What am I trying to say? The moon.
Yeah, from Elk River, Minnesota.
Where are you from?
Elk River, Minnesota.
Oh, okay.
And I just want to say hi to all my Canadian friends up north.
Oh yeah.
I used to live in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, and I used to get CBC Quebec.
Oh yeah.
Over there.
The thing is, I think I used to get CBC, the French CBC, and they shut that down in this area. When I first lived there, we were getting it in analog, but they shut down a lot of the CBC stuff.
Yeah, we got satellite when it first came out. And like Disney Channel when I was a kid was just biggest.
Oh yeah, that would be yeah. I remember when we first got in Canada, it was Family Channel, which was kind of like the equivalent. It had Disney Channel stuff and Nickelodeon stuff. I think I didn't even know what Nickelodeon was until I went to Universal Studios and they had like Nickelodeon there, and all the kids were excited about that, and I never heard of it.
Oh yeah, I mean, cable TV was like 10 miles away from us.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And
that's one thing where I was kind of fortunate. I didn't have a C-band dish, but we did have cable. But even then, in the like late 80s, early 90s, we only got like maybe 63 channels, and like some of them were like, you know, the education channel, the shopping channel. We got a bunch of all that stuff, right? That stuff that we didn't. And in Canada, we got like I don't know, maybe 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 were French channels. I couldn't even understand the language in those channels. So,
well, until we got the satellite, we only had 3 channels. That's only.
Oh yeah, it'd be over the air, yeah.
So,
and then you get satellite, and you find out you get like hundreds of channels, right? Thousands.
Oh yeah. Oh, so many kids came over to watch movies and all that stuff.
Yeah,
nothing was scrambled back.
Yeah, nothing was scrambled. They had a lot more networks. You can watch NBC, CBS, and all that stuff. And
I was able to watch all the shows like 2 weeks before they ever aired on.
Oh yeah, and they have the feeds for the shows before they would come out. Yeah, I remember hearing about that. I didn't have that back then, but I would hear about it, and I had kids that I'd go to school with would tell me about that, and they watched wrestling, and they would watch. Howard Stern had like his New Year's special that I heard about, and I heard people just the jokes and stuff like that. And I remember hearing about Howard Stern before we even got radio here, but I would hear about it from like other TV shows. They would talk about it, right?
Right. Right. I mean, cartoons was huge back then.
Oh yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, you get like Cartoon Network or like but so TBS before the Cartoon Network started. TBS showed a lot of cartoons in the morning, right?
Oh yeah, Flintstones, all that stuff. Yeah.
And then it just became where everything was a channel. So yet instead of having a genre, every genre had its own channel. Cartoon channel, a cooking channel. You had everything.
Yeah, when I was 12 years old, I wanted to invent a sci-fi channel. I didn't have the money to do it.
Patrick's working on his projector, or?
No, I just moved it back to place.
Oh yeah, your audio is breaking up pretty bad.
Yeah, because I'm holding the camera just a moment.
I got 356-inch screen in my basement.
Oh yeah, like a projector.
Yep.
Yeah.
Epson.
Epson projector. Okay, yeah.
3D.
See, I wasn't big on getting a projector until recently, and then I don't know. I think because the kids use it, but we don't really sit down and watch a lot of movies on the projector. And it's not the greatest quality projector either, eh? But it's okay. I mean, it's not even. I wouldn't even say it's 1080p. It's like kind of like a cell phone, you know, in a projector.
Yeah.
What it is, but for what it is, at the price at where it's at, like you can pick up these cheap projectors at Walmart for like they've had them for $100.
Yeah, I paid $750.
Yeah. Yeah, it all depends on the quality you want with a projector. Yeah, and if you install it properly, it'll look really good.
There's also a reason why I bought this one back in 2005. Is that this using a CRT, you won't have a gray blacks. Your blacks are gonna be really black because there's no light going to.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I don't know if you're getting it, but from the projector to the screen, if you're using a CRT, you won't have any light for the blacks because you're not passing through a light. You're not passing the light through a LCD. You're just emitting it to the screen. So when you don't have any light to emit, they won't have any light on the screen, even in the blacks. So that's made for a great movie experience.
Yeah, I find I'm happy with a TV screen, especially with the brightness. I'm just more satisfied with even if it's a smaller screen. Well, you gotta take into account too. TV screens upstairs is like the big screen TV. Compare that to like the projector, which is larger. But the image quality is much better on the actual TV than I find with the projector.
Yeah, we all getting lazy with me. It's a 20-minute setup to put it back in use. So
yeah,
I don't use it much.
Yeah, that's another thing is for the screen to be set up here, and as I said, I use for the portability. I got this green screen stand. You just get them they're like $40 on eBay, and they come with the little clips or whatever. You just put a screen on it, and you can have like a big 10-foot screen. Well, for this room, 10 foot's pretty big, pretty decent for what I need.
Yeah, mine's always set up, so I don't have.
Yeah. If you got the wall all set up for that, so a lot of people that's how they have the projector set up. They have the wall painted with the screen glue or whatever. The
silver screen.
Yeah, the silver screen stuff to make it look bright. Yeah, it's a nice feature as long as you got a warm basement.
The paint of the wall, I like it. I did like it because I was able to have a bigger screen. But the problem with this, I call it the door handle screen because I needed to take a sheet and put it on the handle so I won't see all the handle of the door on my image. So my door was actually part of the screen.
Yeah, that's kind of what I got the green screen stand for. Is I have not a door but an entryway, and it just sort of covers that. And the kids really like that because when they see that, they go in the basement and around the other side, and they see the back of the projector and like pressing on it. It's one of those things for kids, right? They just love being able to wave their hands in front of the screen or whatever. My son takes the projector, and he's like putting it on the ceiling and stuff like that. So that's where a cheap projector is good, especially if the kid's going to be holding it.
Yeah, there was something for that was not actually a toy back in the 90s, but Sony did a projector that was actually round and it tilted up to the ceiling and back, so you were able to project on everything you want, and that was.
I think I have that projector. I got it at like
the gray one from Sony.
It's not Sony. It's like a cheap no brand on it, cheap, and it only does RCA input. So only you plug a DVD player into it or a video game system or whatever, and it actually is meant to be projected straight up. So it will project onto the ceiling.
The LCD is quite low res, by the way. On this, the one I'm talking about is so. I sell it. I just sold it back because it was too lower of a resolution on this, and the screen was the LCD screen was low resolution, and the light at the back, you were using the same fixture you use on your ceiling with some halogen. Those light you can was the same 50 watts light you were using for your kitchen ceiling stuff and all those. So the light actually this was quite cheap because it was the same as we used to buy in every hardware store. So.
Yeah, you got to be careful what you buy.
Just for this, it's a Sony project. I'm gonna try to show this because it's kind of. I will share you my screen in a moment.
All right. Oh, that's it there. It's gonna turn. There's a setting to get this thing working, but I don't know how to get it. Maybe that'll work. Trying to join here. Leo's back in. Todd says, hey, from Edgemont, SD. Where's SD? What state's that? South Dakota.
Close to me.
Oh, yeah?
Right next door neighbors.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's warmer there than it is here, that's for sure. Well, you know what? We've had just a lousy April. I don't know. It was cold and not rainy either. We didn't get April showers till the end of April. We just had a cold April, and now we're getting everything in bloom because it's been raining. It's killing me.
I'm looking for rain. Sick of watering.
Oh, really? Yeah, we're getting rain now, but we weren't getting rain all April pretty much until the end.
Say I got a DiSEqC 2 receiver. I'm waiting on some parts because I need more stable LMDs to get it to work properly. I can get it to lock in, but then it unlocks. Can't keep the newer LMDs.
Is it a Motorola?
Actually, yes. Yep.
Or the DSR 6000 or whatever that I have one of them and I can't get it working.
Oh, I also have a DTV too. But it's the LNDs that aren't stable enough, the newer ones. So
okay.
You got to use the older style because they're more stable.
Oh, okay, yeah. Didn't know that. Huh.
Yeah, so I'm waiting on a couple of parts, and then I'm gonna test it out again because there's
so like a feed horn, like the Ortho or whatever.
Yeah, feed horn. Yeah. Well, I got the feed horn. I just wait for the vertical, and I got two LMDs. I'm waiting for the switch.
Oh, the switch. Yeah.
The
not 22K switch, but the what is that switch there?
Like 18 and
the 1813 volt switch.
Yeah,
the 1830 volt switch. I had one of those on the LMB that I had it up, but then I found it wasn't getting the same results. And then with the digital receiver, it was off frequency by a little bit.
Right.
So, go ahead.
The DiSEqC requires that off frequency.
Oh, okay.
That's the reason why I keep getting the drift. So
Oh, okay. Why do you get the drift?
it's because they're not the newer LNDs aren't stable.
Oh, okay.
They heat up and then
Yeah, they heat up. Sometimes what will happen is with an LNB, you'll do a blind scan, and it'll be off frequency and off symbol rate by a little bit. The channel will come in, but then it'll be off frequency.
Yeah.
And sometimes the way to fix that is you just manually enter in the transponder, and then you get it right on frequency.
I've been doing some checking, and anything on the DiSEqC, there's a bunch of fixed key channels that are set in the free mode. So
Yeah. If you have a receiver that can do the DiSEqC, a lot of the channels are in the clear, but the problem is they don't. So you can't go on eBay and buy like a DVB receiver. You can't buy a DVB S2 / DiSEqC receiver. It's really, you got to mess around with more industrial equipment. You can buy a used Motorola.
I got a commercial receiver, and I get it locked on and it unlocks. But I went into C-SPAN analog and got it to say it was an analog receiver too as well. I got it to lock on. I got audio and all that on it. So.
Oh, really? Yeah. So it does analog as well with the digital. So maybe this one I have back here it'll do work better, because the receiver, people kept asking me, why do I have the cable hanging out the way I do? That's how I got it to work. Otherwise, I think what happened is something is broken in the receiver end of it. So I just it was finicky on the connection. So I had to had a wire that had the screw-on connectors, took off the screw-on connector and just sort of put it in until I got signal.
Yeah, there's probably something simple like that.
So we got Patrick's projectors here.
Unfortunately, I cannot find.
What I remember seeing
I
in
cannot
popular,
find what I was looking for. Remember those ones?
I remember those. I remember seeing that like in the 1970s edition of Popular Science, and thinking that looked kind of cool in space age.
Oops, sorry about that. I think you talk about this one. Is it possible?
Yeah.
No? You know what kind of projector is this?
It looks like the one Lex Luthor had when he was in Superman 1, when he was when Superman was taking the missiles and like flying around the Earth and making it go backwards.
Yeah.
This is a single CRT projector with a special thing to make color on it in front of it, like we used to do with viewfinders with color viewfinders on camera. It's a kind of synchronization stuff. It's quite particular. Those are not only vintage, but are praised for its for the fact that it's quite rare, and it has a Betamax VTR at the back.
Yeah, I see the Betamax coming out of the back of it. Yeah.
Those were weird. What I was trying to find is not at all was about that, but I cannot find it anymore. There's some tech back in the day that was not used by anyone, but we still remember them because of internet. But the fact is, not many people bought those tech, so we think everyone was able to have this. But at the time, we didn't even know that it was existing. So because we didn't have internet, so no one thought that it was possible to have those things. So my projector is a commercial one, so no one bought that. That was, but still I bought it in 2005 just to point out. So it's still fun. Those tech are fun when you can find them, but the fact is that no one bought that at the time it was Blue, because there was not too much information. Not everyone know that those thing was available. Is what I meant to say. Here we go again. Sorry about that.
Cool, interesting.
Yeah, nice.
So there's a lot of stuff that are quite different. You can have CRT projector. You can have LCD projector. You have stuff from Motorola. Not the LCD, the DLP projector. You have laser with some laser projectors, and there's a lot of possibilities. But the reason I showed mine was that, like I said earlier, that the blacks are black only for that reason. Because back when I bought this projectors, the LCD projector, I think they were running for $2,000 back in the day, back in 2005. That was not that cheap back in that day. And having a HD projector back in 2005 with enough quality was not that cheap. So
No.
So
well, that's the thing with projectors is they went from like being thousands of dollars to like now you get like they're lower end ones, right? They're not, but for the $100 ones, and it's kind of like how would you put it? Beta and VHS. Beta was more expensive and had a little bit extra, but you're getting like maybe a marginal amount of better quality. But then there's like, but people are going to buy whatever is the cheaper, better, more mass-produced option. That's kind of like with streaming. Streaming quality is not as good as video quality from cable. That is expensive, or even Blu-ray. You're not getting as good quality as a Blu-ray. But streaming kick cable and Blu-ray's butt because people don't want to. People want to get the access to the content. They don't care about the high quality. The best quality. Best quality doesn't always win. Especially when it's super expensive.
Yeah,
For
I
sure.
remember. I don't remember at the day, but I think I was 6 or 7 at not high school. What do you call it? Middle. Before high school, I was young. They tried to make a video of us in French course. So they were showing us the black and white video, and the VCR for that was a U-matic, and that's what they was having at school. So those were not cheap either, and they were not using VHS or Betamax back then.
No,
They were.
I don't remember seeing the black and white. I remember seeing it, the black and white reels. There's like this old business thrift store, or like a flea market for business stuff, and then they had a bunch of reels of these reel-to-reel videotapes, and they were not.
Those that look like audio tapes.
Yeah, they looked like audio tapes, except they were videotapes, and it was from like the
incredible.
early 70s.
It's incredible.
Yeah, and I think they were black and white back in the day.
Yeah, they were black and white. They never have a color one.
Oh yeah, well I guess they came out beta, and then
They
VHS.
were mainly used for community TV channels.
Yeah, they could have been used for that, or they were used for educational purposes. Yeah, I think that's where, because it was an office surplus store, like an old office equipment type thing.
They are now hard to, from what I can see on YouTube, they are hard to maintain today. Those they really are to maintain. They're quite finicky to make it work right, because there's no TBC, no nothing. I think there's no control track on this. At this point, it's a miracle that it worked. So
yeah, Well, some of the it's like trying to restore. I got one in the other room, but I'm not going to dig it out now. Is one of the Fisher Price PXL 2000 audio cassette camcorders, and I have one, but it doesn't work anymore. It'll play back, but it won't record. It'll play back some of the videos from the 80s. It was my wife's camera, and so she had some footage on it and stuff. But I tried to set it up and try to hook it up to the TV just because of white light now. All the technology in it's so old, it wasn't built to last.
Yeah, they were in early 2000, if I remember. There were artists that were using this as a video progressive artist stuff, and they were using that camera, but with a modification that output a composite video out of the camera, and they were recording it on VHS right away. So it made for a better image quality, but the reason the artists were using that for a video show or something, I don't understand those.
Yeah, and it wasn't even full 480 resolution. There was bars all around it. It was like lower. It was like 200 lines of resolution.
Yeah,
PLX cameras.
If I remember, they're so low resolution, and if I do remember, 8-Bit Guys has a video about this camera too.
Yeah,
so he tried it. And
yeah, Dave Murray did a video on that. Yeah.
So this camera was nothing was respecting any video standard at all. There was nothing that was standard on this, unfortunately. And
I found a resolution too on my camera.
It's
or not my camera. Yeah, I don't have my Easy Cap with me. I might have the Easy Cap here. I have it in the other drawer. For capturing Atari 8-bit computer stuff, the resolution is not 480. So, like, some capture cards would have a problem with capturing those old computers.
Maybe if you try no industrial time-based corrector, it will probably
don't
work.
Have one of those.
I have one in my
I'll just reach in and pull one out of my butt. Man.
Yeah, I look like someone who can reach anything I'm talking about out of my butt. But that's not that true, you know.
But I do have a cheap, just one of those cheap Easy Cap USB to RCA cable output capture cards, and they can. You connect those up to OBS, and you can capture some video with that.
Those cards can handle everything. It's funny. Those little cheap one, easy. They call it Easy Cap.
The cheap one works better than my like $700 capture card that I bought back in the day. Like the one I bought back in 2000, the AV Master. It was like one
and
of
there's a reason for that. They are not expecting any standard, any video sync. They're not expecting anything. And you're gonna have garbage in, garbage out for sure. But the actual rasterization of the video is done by the computer itself. So I think we call it Windows on something video.
Well, see, everything on YouTube,
back in 1995.
Yeah, everything that's been archived on YouTube is probably archived in something like that. Like all the stuff that people, like old TV commercials. And then, see, a documentary will take that footage off of YouTube that somebody took from a VHS tape, transferred it with an Easy Cap, put it onto YouTube. A lot of people and then they put them in high quality documentaries. I've been watching, like, someone's been putting these documentaries on YouTube. It was the wrestling documentaries, not Beyond the Mat, but the one with Brian Pillman and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. All that stuff.
There's still something that I hate a lot about those vintage video. People tend to scan those interlace and leave it that way when progressive.
Oh yeah, the interlace looks like.
So we got the screen effect that way. The reverse scale with the other one, and every time, and from what I can see, even professionals do that. They want to keep the resolution, so they don't mess with the field. So they let the field there. So when you have something that moves, it's not at the same time on the even and the odd field. So if you show something that moves, it's gonna be in two parts, and it mess with the image, and people tend to scan it that way and leave it that way. So
yeah, what you're actually
too
getting
much.
with a lot of that capture technology is you're actually getting a lower quality image because it deinterlaces. But the deinterlace kind of gives it more of a softer image and not a sharp.
On the not on the horizontal resolution, but the vertical resolution is cut in half, or it's cut in, at best it's cut in half only when it moves. And the best solution is cut in half when it moves. If it doesn't move, the system will keep your vertical resolution, but it's what we call in VLC the interlace. If you check on VLC, there's the interlace option. One is called X. The X one is the best one because it's only the interlacing what it's moving. So it's made for a better quality image because you're just losing resolution when it moves.
I don't know what I have mine set to, but yeah, I usually just go if I hit the D button when I'm using VLC. When I'm watching a video, I hit D on my keyboard to make it deinterlace, because sometimes, well, even when I stream the video, like with using my satellite receiver, I get it from RT. It's not it's interlace video. It's 480i. Most screens, for people that don't know, are progressive scan. They're progressive scan monitors. Most monitors now are that way. You don't see too much more interlaced video. I don't know if it's just CRT tubes that do interlace. These TVs will do interlace, but they must be using a filter because they're not an interlaced TV. They're flat screen TVs.
Nothing. Yes, only CRTs are actual interlace system. Like my projector, it's an interlace one, but it's also progressive. It's just for CRT, but the actual signal is another story. You can have interlace inside of a progressive video signal just because the editor just mess with stuff. You can have other problems too. So there's a lot of problem that comes with interlace video at the projection level, at the post-production level, and even on your screen. So that's why we're going away from that, but it will still be around. And the idea for interlace video was that the electronics in the 50s was not fast enough with the for making progressive image.
But the thing was, in Europe, the PAL signal that televisions used were
interlaced.
They were interlaced?
They were interlaced at 25 image per second. So it's 50 interlace. So it's still interlaced with the same problem.
Okay, I thought Europe had or PAL had progressive scan.
Not at all.
No, okay, so it's the same type of So now is it easier for so now it's got to be easier for Europe TV, because remember, like in the 90s, here comes a show from Europe and the video looked like crap because it would be transferred from the European PAL system to NTSC, and anything from Europe looked terrible.
Different frame rate.
Yeah, different frame rate. Looked softer. Had a bit of a blur to it. Like if you ever watched, what was the France? We used to get the France news channel. I think it was France 24. I'm not sure. Anyway, you used to get that on cable, and it was live, but it always had a weird look to it.
Just watch Doctor Who.
Yeah, the fact is, it's not that cheap to make a good transfer because it's not real time, and it use things that are quite pricey, the electronics to transfer this with because the fact is you can transfer a movie at 24 FPS on a 60 interlace video, and it's called a 4:3 pull down. It's quite good. It makes good result, and you still in sync. You will not speeding up your movie by let's say 3%, but in PAL the video at 25 is 20 or 24, so they interrupt, they're speeding the movie instead of us. So as you can imagine, if you try to put the 25 interlace into the 50 interlace, I should say, into 60 interlace, there no prime number between those. So it's a hard job to do electronically wise. I can say that way.
Well, anyway, guys, I think it's 10:30, so it's been 2 hours. So I'm gonna pack this in. Yeah, thank you for joining. So I don't know. I'll put out a link if I'm gonna do this again next week. I probably will. And as long as my work doesn't interfere with this, I should be good to go. So I'll see you guys next week. And
See you later.
Yeah, I was thinking of doing video games. Maybe I will do video games, but I might have to figure something else out because I looked at the screen effect. I think Tuesday or Thursday, I might play around. I might be on Twitch, but I might not be on YouTube. And then we're going to be playing around with some stuff, figure out how to use OBS along with the Restream software a little bit better. So I'm just going to try that out. So thanks for watching, guys. Thank you for all that have participated. And
No problem. Anytime.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You.
All right. Have a good night.
Thanks.